What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode and edition of the Fight Factory Wrestling Podcast right here, coming to you live from the Richard Lucas Chevrolet and Subaru studio, a.k.a. Chop Studios in Matawan, New Jersey. Dave Sturchio, Tommy Dee, and nobody else, because everybody's just running from the grind to get... No, listen, dad duties call. Chris Payne out today for dad duties. We got Tommy T out with dad duties, or... you know, making up his own second family at this point.
Yeah.
That was so weird. It's just like the whole Monday night, I'm like, oh man, is your daughter enjoying it? It's like, no, man, turns out I didn't take her. I was like, what?
That's why I was like, wait, so you went to a wrestling event alone?
So you were a Tommy sale to the WWE? Is
and
that
people
correct?
used to think I was nuts if I went to the movies by myself. Like Rocky Balboa, I went by myself. I don't go with people.
You know what? As I've gotten older, I've realized going to the movies by yourself is a treat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I don't do it anymore. Kevin Matthews does it all the time. He has like that AMC whatever the pass where he gets like to just unlimited shit. Guy sees everything on the release days or Tuesday nights or whatever. Just goes by himself, or sometimes he'll rope somebody in. But like most of the times he's by himself. And I was like, man, like, but to go to a wrestling event by yourself, I've done that for the indies to say hello to people, but never like as a fan, like. You know, what a mark, as I say that with my new $40 Roman Reigns OTC shirt on.
Yeah, or like going to a football game, something like that. You can't go by yourself. You have to
you know
go
what it is, though?
people.
You make friends immediately. You know what I mean? Or at least I do. I'm a social butterfly, so like I talk to everybody.
Yeah, well, the alcohol helps.
Well, that too. I don't drink as much as I used to drink. Contrary to some reports, but I really don't. I'm mostly on the edibles, which is fun to go to sleep to. But anyway, we want to also shout out some of our sponsors here for the show, the Stand Comedy Club. Thank you guys always and forever for all of your help throughout this whole process. Go check out the Stand in New York. If you're in, I guess that's still Manhattan, right, or Soho, or one of those two. I don't know, some kind of.
It's all New York to me.
It's all New York City to me too. So go check out the Stand Comedy Club. They got some heavy hitters in and out of there every week. Also, our shout out to Luchadors, the Tex-Mex over there on the South
Street Seaport.
Yeah, okay, I was going to say that before. But yeah, go shout out those guys. Two-time sponsors now have helped us out with both War on the Shore 1 and 2. Of course, Savvy Seats. Tommy, did you enjoy yourself on Saturday? I mean, I stayed longer. We'll get into SummerSlam in a minute, but the tailgate experience was moved inside, which I think kind of played to our benefit, to be honest with you.
So it didn't, right? It played to our benefit because, there was thousands of eyeballs on us. But it didn't because I got that in my peripheral vision, right? So I'm trying to get my point across there, and I'm seeing cameras in my face here. There's people videoing us, and that was great. So it
became popular all of a sudden. That's cool.
I like a lot of the things that I wanted to say, I couldn't get out because I'm like, should I look? Do I pose? Should I just...
Or you should be like, I'm fucking live over here, but yeah, no, shout out to Tommy Savvy, another Tommy on our Rolodex.
Listen, that was a lot of fun. And that was going to be tough sledding no matter what, just because you had busting open at the stadium, right? So that was going to be tough sledding no matter what. But I think, it looked like day 2 was good too.
Yeah, they had the Buffalo food slut or whatever she's called.
Oh, she was there that day?
She was there. She runs Game Day New York, apparently. So shout out to Savvy Seats and Game Day New York. They put together a great little event, like off to the side. Everybody that was online for the merchandise had to see us. So there was no getting by that merch line without watching us do our thing. I had a couple friends stop by. And of course, shout out to Nikki the Good and Big Ben Bishop.
That was awesome.
Big Trouble. BT Double B came, stopped by. Great interview with him. You can check that out right here on this channel, on the MyFandom YouTube channel. Where
you know what he reminded me of coming through the people? Remember Rocky 3 when Hogan was on the outside? Out of the way, worms! That's what he fucking
in the
reminded
flesh,
me
baby.
of.
Yeah, no, he's a freak. He's an absolute freak. He's an attraction when you see him in public. You're just like, I'm 6'1.5", and I'm like doing this while I'm interviewing this guy. I'm like, how fucking talking?
That's what I said. He could just pat paint on the top of his head as he was talking.
But no, shout out to him and thanks for the time. And he explained to us his WWE tryout, the 3-day tryout that the WWE had in the tri-state area, which is awesome.
He looked like he had been through it.
Yeah, and he had no voice left. That's not his normal voice. If you watch the episode, that's not his normal voice. He lost it all.
I hope he had the voice when it was promo day.
Yeah, well, that's probably where he lost it. To be honest with you, probably like was screaming on the top of his lungs. Maybe if they don't have a microphone, I don't know. We weren't there, we don't know. But you got to assume if it's 3 days of promos and you're screaming your ass off as a character, he said right there with us that the thank God for the promo work because that's where he really does shine. He's a character. You know what I mean? He's funny as shit. His, some people are rubbed the wrong way by him in his shtick because I think that people feel like they're taking shots at the independents and like things that we have lived as independent wrestlers. But I think he's more or less just taking shots at the carny shit that you see.
Yeah, but he's also
from time to time.
he's an independent wrestler.
Right. He's got to do right. He's living it while he's making fun of it.
Yeah.
Because that's the name of the game. If you can't make fun of yourself, who can you make fun of?
He's making fun of the idiot on the computer. Like, oh my God, that guy's body looks like shit. Meanwhile, he's got Entenmann's cookies here.
He's got the bowl of chips like on his stomach, actually, in his mom's basement. But yeah, shout out to Big Ben. He's the man. Stay tuned. Hopefully we'll get him for the War on the Shore 3. He was early. If Tommy kept saying he was early for War on the Shore 3, so that would be cool.
Listen, you know what? I hope we get him, but honestly, I hope we don't. Because I hope he gets signed.
Yeah, no, it'd be great. Listen, he's 35. He's got size to his advantage if they're looking for that size. He had openly admitted that he's not the spring chicken. He can't be running the blow-up drills like he used to, but there's a time and a place for that. Like, what's his homeboy? The new guy, the new Tonga that just debuted. He's huge. You're not going to see him doing tackle, drop down, leapfrog, arm drags. You know what I mean? He's a big dude, so he's going to be able to do big dude shit, and I think that's Ben's MO, and I think that's going to be perfect.
I think we need to get back to that in professional wrestling.
As far as what?
The big guy style.
Yeah, it kind of went away with guys like I know they try with Omos, but it just wasn't resonating. Maybe because he was so silent. But like a guy with energy, charisma, size, strength, like Kevin Nash, I guess was like the last of the dying breed, or maybe even Big Cass. Had himself a decent role with Enzo at WWE, and now his big bill at AEW.
Like you never saw the Undertaker doing a sunset, flip.
Right, and I think everybody has to cater to everybody's size and strengths, and that's what you learn as you come up in this business. That you want to make sure you choose a finisher that you can do to everybody. Right, you can't choke slam everybody. Right, you can't. Well, I mean you can because they can all jump for you, but like you can't jackknife powerbomb everybody. Some people just aren't capable of giving yourself that push that you need unless you muscle them over, and then it becomes very nasty. But anyway, a couple updates about the Starland Ballroom. No Thanksgiving tickets still on sale right now. Obviously, they just went on sale.
Yeah, just went on sale.
This past Friday at 10 a.m. We are now almost a week into it. We're 50% sold on the first row. I have to tell you guys that the seating in this place, just based off the chart they gave us, is all badass seating, right? So it's like, if you're in the front row, I mean, that goes without saying, you're in the front row, you're right there on top of the action. But if you're in the front row on the stage, you are literally eye level with the wrestlers in the ring. If you're in the world bar seating, which there's only about like 10 of those available, it's a bar behind production. You're not blocked by anything because everything's lower, but it's like you are hard cam. Like your vision is what hard cam is going to see and shoot and present in post. So it's another great seat, cheaper in price as well. Can't do anything about the fees, guys. That's just a thing. I know my boy Jay Valatudo, another Woodbridge resident, bought front row tickets for him and his kids, and he was like, "Boy, do I wish those fees went to you and not to them." And I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, well, what are you gonna do?"
But again, that's why we did what we did with the pricing.
We lowered the pricing a little bit to try to eat some of that just for the consumer, right? Like, we're not going to be millionaires off this show because it's impossible because of the fact that, there's only a certain amount of seats allowed. But the problem, a good problem to see this time around, for the first time ever, we can sell a place out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We do have the ability to say, like, look, we got nothing left. We have first row, second row, stage seating, world bar seating, and then general admission, standing room only. So it's going to be it's going to feel like a big mosh pit if you're there in general admission. Can't bring your own beach chair for this one, so just make sure that you find a spot and you just enjoy yourself. Because once we announce the first couple people that were coming on board, I think you guys are going to be happy, and I think it's going to be everything that we want it to be. Look, we're already in the know that Danny Moff's going to defend his championship. We already know that Chris Steeler is going to defend his championship. We know that Lady Frost is going to defend her championship. And then for the first time ever, we're going to crown tag team champions for the first time.
Those belts.
Those belts
oh
are.
My God.
I'm so sorry to tease everybody, but like Payne is sending us updates from his what do we call him now? I guess his hookup, his. I don't know what to call this guy, but
it's just crazy to me, right? And I love our belts that we had for the first War on the Shore. I'm not going to take away from that. I love our
they're
belts,
great,
right? How long that process took, and then we still had to. Payne and I still had to go take that drive to Ohio,
and I think
to pick them up.
You know what I think it is? I think when you have a lot of cooks in the kitchen, things get jumbled. One guy does the plates, one guy does the sales, one guy does the leather, like all this, and they're all in different places, and it makes things difficult. This guy is, I believe, a one-man band, even though some of the videos that Payne has sent, I've listened to them, and it feels like they're in a factory of some sort, or it's just a loud house.
That's the machine shop.
It is a machine shop, so shout out to those guys over there, and like I said, the belts are going to look pretty extra brothered up. I'll just say that. I just think it's very cool, and I think it's going to be an awesome thing. I got a text from Kurt, who was a very pivotal role at the War on the Shore 2. He is out for this show, so I'm disappointed in it. I got off the phone today with Paige. She'll be back with us. Paige McKenzie. She'll be back with us doing some backstage stuff. There are some roles to fill. I do want to congratulate both Pete Rosado and Gino Gotts as pretty much the official team now for commentary. They crushed it, and I think you're going to see that if you haven't ordered it already on the MyFandom app in its entirety for just $10. You can wait as we release matches now. We're going to be releasing matches in their entirety the next couple of weeks. I know Josh Chernoff is working on that now, putting his ass to work now that he owns some of the company. It's like I said, we're going to staff the show. We have a new production team coming in because GPW are booked. I believe I said MLW same weekend.
I'm glad MLW brought them back because they weren't using them for a while, and
you always learn a lesson. Well,
the few times that I've popped on to watch some MLW stuff, I was just like, what is that?
Yeah. So, and you know what? You learn your lesson really quick. And I've said this, you have to, and look, every company is different. Every goal of a company is different. Me in particular, I love a good production. Because I guess I've been spoiled. I've seen how the backstage of a WrestlePro show. I've seen backstage of an Impact Wrestling when I was there doing the pay-per-view. I've seen what ACW is doing up in Poughkeepsie. So, like, for me, that's the main thing. Like, talent, yes, you're going to find some of the best talent on our roster. But I think when it comes to presentation and camera crews and angles and being able to post-produce and all that shit, that stuff resonates with me more because I'm in the field itself. So, like, I really double down on that shit.
Well, it gives a professional look.
Yeah, of course. But again, you don't have to. You can have one guy running around with a camera if that's your style, and that's I don't want to say care because that's not the right word, but like if you're not as focused as we are in the production, you can get away with that. I've seen companies do that.
It's all editing at that point.
It's editing, and it's just like. They're doing it for clips.
Yeah.
They're not going to air the whole thing. Like, shout out to UWA, right? UWA has been the little engine that could since I've been in this business. It started off because Arcadia, who will be joining this program in the next couple of weeks, he's going to come by and hang out. But he had told me about UWA Elite way back when. This is I'm talking small budget independent wrestling thing, but it feels like more of a brotherhood than most other independent shows. Like you walk into an ACW locker room, yes, you feel like family. There's catering, there's people just shaking their hands, kissing babies, all that shit. But when you walk into a locker room that maybe the media isn't paying attention to, you feel like there's more, it's a closer brotherhood. It's like, hey, we all got each other's backs. We've been doing this now. They've been around since like as I was getting into the business, they've been around before that. So, and I believe they were just recently purchased by Tommy Fierro of ISPW.
Yes.
So he kind of helped them because they were about to shut the doors. Because look, when you don't have the funding or you don't have the support of your local communities, whatever the case was as to why they fell on hard times, good job for Tommy to come in, step in and say like, you guys aren't going anywhere, like because he probably saw what I'm seeing right now is that the roster is just such a hard working roster. And there are some hidden gems on that roster. Kyle the Beast is one of those guys. Arcadia was obviously he had his run with Jersey All Pro before this, but like, let's see, I'm just Sean Damage McNeilis. I've seen him wrestle a lot. These guys, and again, sometimes maybe they're in their own head because why aren't those guys more places? And maybe they're just very complacent with what, and I'm complacent not in a bad way. I'm saying like, just I love what I do. I have a full-time job. I do this, but then I love to wrestle, and this is the platform I have for it. So bravo to those guys. They're at, and this is something to strive for, to be honest with you. They're at the Middlesex County Fair all this week. They started last week. They're there tonight, tomorrow, Friday, Saturday night. They do like this little pay-per-view thing, right? So that they're trying, right? Like they're trying, and I think Payne in our text was saying like it's hard to develop the stories that we want to tell when we run once every 4 months. Right. You know what I mean? So once we have what we want out of this, which is a lot more than what you're seeing right now, we'll be able to tell those stories. And I think we're getting there. You know, we're 3 shows deep. Second show, like I said, in Staten Island, we still put on a fantastic card. It just wasn't received well.
Yeah, and we also couldn't really get to carry over storylines like we wanted to because, you know, Lance wasn't available. So, you know, that storyline. And, you know,
we pivoted and brought in Alpha and that kind of worked. But then all of a sudden that didn't translate.
Like, so they were even keeping that storyline going in Battlefield because
Alpha helped us out.
Moff came in and threw a beatdown. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's going to happen for us. It's definitely going to happen. But like you're saying with that company and what Tommy's doing, buying them, keeping them going, it's just keeping these guys working because, like you said, it's what they love to do. And if that's what they like to do on their weekend and stuff like that, like
all power to them. I think my mindset has changed a lot within the last week is because, you know, you get ahead of yourself a little bit. And, you know, I think, you know, sometimes you walk around puffing your chest out a little bit like a Conor McGregor walk in the hallways. Like, we just conquered the shore again. Ha ha. You know what I mean? And it's just like, you know, you get ahead of yourself and you start spitting off of the mouth and then you say things you don't really, really wish you could take back. And, you know, obviously everybody who's in the know knows that I'm a very respectful person. So when I come across as disrespectful, that irks me. You know what I mean? That irks me a lot because that's not who I really am. And despite, you know, losing some support over the last couple weeks, I get it. I wholeheartedly get it. My mission now is to regain that support from those that might think that, you know, I was a prick. And that's, you know, again, I don't have to get into too much detail, but, you know, there's certain people out there that have absolutely gave me an opportunity to, I mean, first time you ever saw a Fight Factory logo was on an ISPW show. And for me to, you know, pop off at the mouth about something about ISPW, that's just stupid, you know, stupid. I've apologized. I've since apologized. It's fucked me up more than it's probably fucked them up, to be honest with you. Like I was hurting for quite some time and I still am, you know what I mean? But like, I want to make sure that people know that I'm in this business and I want everybody to eat and I want everybody to succeed. And for me to even take a remote shot at anybody for trying to succeed in a different way, in a different platform is just preposterous and stupid. So my public apologies to Mr. Tommy Fierro and ISPW and all of their loyal fans, because there's some motherfucking loyal fans over there.
Yeah.
And that's what did me in the most. I will say this publicly. That's what did me in the most. It's one thing for Tommy to give me the third degree, which I absolutely deserved. But like for their fans to F this guy, fuck this guy, blah, 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 blah. And I'm reading all this and I'm like, yeah, not a fan of this feeling right now. You know what I mean? Like,
and, you know, a lot of them were just supported us and were, you know,
and that trickled down to Chris Payne, you know, getting mad, and I'm sure you guys felt some certain way. Like,
so here, and I'm going to say is that. So here's the thing with me. Yeah, I've been there. I've been that guy. But you know, the entire thing stemmed from a situation of somebody asking for redemption from the public. And, you know, it's kind of the same thing in this situation. It was something that shouldn't have happened. It did. You can't take it back. The best thing that you can do is move forward. You know, and I know that's very uncharacteristic of you.
Yeah.
You know, and it's funny because like you'll even say to me, hey, make sure you're very respectful when you're in the locker room. Like when
I've taught you everything there is to teach, and then I go back on my own bullshit.
And, and
It's
this is all stuff that, believe it or not, that I knew already just from being around the MMA world, right? I wouldn't even go in the MMA locker room, and I had carte blanche to go in any locker room I wanted to with the media pass for Fight Book. I could have went in there, interviewed them. I said, absolutely not. That is sacred ground. I have no reason to be in there. If I'm invited, different story. But the shaking of the hands and being respectful to everybody, especially with that time in MLW that Rob and I, spent there. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
respect is a very big...
Which blows my mind now that's a lost file. Because it was fucking Jacob Fatu. It was like, it was everybody. It was like, the whole, what do they call it? Contra unit? Or
Contra, yeah.
Yeah,
man.
the whole goddamn stuff. But no, in reality, like, you want to go into this rooting for everybody. And you know what's crazy is that I started to feel like I was becoming somebody that I didn't like at all. Like, the people that have come before me have taught me certain things on what to do, what not to do. And sometimes you can go back and say, like, well, what the hell? They're doing it now. You know what I mean? Like, but in reality, you want to be a good person. I want to be a good father to my kids. I want to be a good friend to you guys. I want to be a good business partner. So when Chris called me up the following day, I felt like I was getting yelled at with my dad. You know what I mean? I was like, God. And I was like, all right. But again, all warranted. You're coming off a successful show. We just announced another show in Starland, and all of a sudden, one of the owners wants to, and it's just like, you're so stupid, bro. Like, I look in the mirror a million times, like, you're so stupid.
I'm going to make you laugh. Okay?
Yeah, sure.
You know what it reminded me of?
What?
You're like JoJo, the idiot circus boy with a brand new pet.
That, and I felt like, you ever see
Scanners?
Dirk Diggler. Oh shit, Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, Boogie Nights.
Boogie Nights. when this guy's in the car, fucking idiot, fucking idiot. That's how I felt. I was like, dude, I was sitting in my own studio in the dark, staring at the ceiling. Like, what did I just do? You know what I mean? Like, so there is. Again, I am not a jerk off. I'm not a piece of shit. Like, I'm a very loyal dude.
It was a lapse in judgment.
Sometimes to a fault, you know what I mean? But
lapse in judgment that
I
know you'll grow from
again,
and move on.
like I am a big fan of everything pro wrestling. I really am, from the top to the bottom. Which is why I'm almost a 40-year-old man wearing WWE t-shirts for $40. Again, what the fuck was I thinking, spending $40 on a t-shirt when I could just go get a War on the Shore t-shirt for $25 shipped that he's wearing right now? Okay. So that's a great still shot for me to like praise it then. But yeah, so I root for everybody's happiness.
We
and
love
success.
you, Tommy.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Honestly, there's nobody that works harder than him. And I strive to be him. So if jealousy played a part in it too, so be it too. Like the jealous people out there, I became one of them. So that kind of, sucked. And I even wrote this on the bottom that I was going to say this, but then as soon as Payne said he wasn't going to be here, I was like, I'm definitely going to say it now. Because it's like, Payne is like, dude, don't even bring it up. It's not a big deal. It is a big deal. He wouldn't say it was not a big deal. But anyway, that's that part of the show and the program. Speaking of everybody eating, there is a company out there just eating people alive right now, and that is ESPN right now. So,
dude, I don't know how I feel about this, man.
Listen, so the first move ESPN did was purchase the NFL Network. That was huge in itself, because me, as being a sports guy that I am, I'm like, boy, oh boy.
You actually watch the NFL Network?
I do like the NFL Network, because they have a lot of the NFL film stuff on there. They have some of their original programming is okay. A lot of their fantasy football stuff is fun to watch. You know what I mean? Like the Good Morning Football stuff. I love the girl. I'm remissing her name right now. It used to be Kay Adams. She got replaced by somebody. She's just as good. But like when Kyle Brandt goes on his high horse talking about the Bills and how much he hates the Cowboys, it's like, go scratch. But ESPN does the NFL thing first. And that was up in arms. People are like, what does that mean? They're like, I don't know. Like nobody knows, right? The next day, WWE agrees to a deal with ESPN, making, going forward, starting in 2026, all PLEs will be now through ESPN, much like UFC, much like TKO. So it's a massive partnership.
The difference with the UFC is the UFC's major pay-per-views, you got to pay separate for them.
You don't have to do that if you're a subscriber to ESPN.
No,
they're launching something on August 21st.
Yeah, did you say it's $30 a month?
$30 a month, but if you already have ESPN through everything else, meaning I got a bundle package with Disney, ESPN Plus, and Hulu. That stays the same. You are now going to get WWE programming on there. If you don't have it at all and you're a new customer and all of a sudden you're like, shit, I just want to watch the WWE when they're peeled, then it's $30 a month. That's going to suck for anybody. Like all of a sudden, it's looking like, and I think somebody did the math, I'm not sure who it was, but it's looking like if you want to watch all things WWE, meaning Netflix, meaning Peacock for all the nostalgic shit, and their whatever the hell they got left, and of course ESPN, you're probably going to wind up paying like $700, $800 a year to be a wrestling fan. All of a sudden, and it's just like,
Yeah, but you know
we
what,
started
though?
talking about this about WrestleMania, how they were outpricing the common fan. So I say, go support the fucking indies because it's a lot cheaper, and you're right there on top of the action.
And just like you said it, people are still going to spend the money when they want to spend the money.
Right.
You look at, AEW, they still do pay-per-view. True, they only put maybe 4 or 5 events on, but you're still paying that. I don't even know what pay-per-view is now because I haven't paid for a pay-per-view in.
Well, you find streams and you're an illegal piece of shit.
And I think that's what.
That might be the new way of the world, though.
Yeah, but that's what's going to happen with this thing with WWE, and I think they're going to take. Yeah, you're going to have a decent amount of people that buy it, but the majority of the people that they're not going to pay $30. They're not going to pay for it.
Well, they have to. I mean, you would have to think that they have to establish a pay-per-view model as well. I know it's all going to be within the ESPN mogul, but you got to be able to give the ability for the person that just doesn't want ESPN. Maybe they hate sports. I don't know, whatever.
Well, and that's what I'm getting at because, no offense, but you look at, the majority of these wrestling fans that you see in independent shows, pretty sure they're not jumping in front of the TV on Football Sunday to watch the Giants.
Losers.
They're not going to do that.
Remember that time I said I wasn't a jerk off?
Look, it's going to be, I think it's going to be tough sledding in the beginning.
It's just a lot. Like I even said, and this might be the old school person in me, but I do miss the times of just clicker. Just one fucking one remote to control everything. And then when digital cable came around, I was like, "Ooh, okay, now we got a lot more channels to deal with. All right."
Yeah, but you ruined the black box experience with the digital cable.
Right.
Damn it.
As soon as you added these subscription streaming services, it got to the point where it's like, oh man, cut cable. All you need is this. Now you need everything. And now it's like, okay. So now the common man that works paycheck to paycheck and has to provide for families and all this other shit, what exactly do you you're taking? I got an email yesterday that my Peacock is going up for $2 more a month. Went from $7.99 to $9.99 starting next month. No questions asked. Hey, by the way, $2 more.
Well, yeah,
$2 more.
Hulu did the same thing.
But it's but they don't even give a rat's ass.
No.
How many people are like, oh, fuck that, cancel, right? They're like, for every cancel, there's 2 new signups.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't think these guys are ever going to lose money, but you've made it very difficult for the average wrestling fan to consume a lot. And look, this is not to say that you can't get your fix with just watching Raw, but eventually you're going to want other shit, right? You're like, I put over MyFandom because I part own the damn thing, but MyFandom's going to bring back a couple of the streaming things where you're going to be able to watch independent wrestling, and then also you have IWTV, right? Internet Wrestling Television, if I'm not mistaken, it's called. There was another one called I forget. There was another one, but there's
you mean the one that we were on?
What the fuck was that called?
That went out of business.
What was it called? Fight?
Pro Wrestling TV?
Pro Wrestling TV. Oh, that's, yeah. Well, yeah, but they tried. And much like even MyFandom when it was premiere, we tried. Things like that cost so much money to run. You guys don't know this on the other side. It is ridiculous how much it costs to make sure your stream looks better than everybody else's. Trust me when I tell you that. That's why businesses go under. That's why companies like Fight/Triller are having problems right now because they are just not able to keep up with the demand of what they've promised their consumers. That's why I think they've broken off from AEW. They're behind. I remember I was talking to Kevin about this not too long ago, Kevin Matthews, and I remember they took them a year to pay for something that Brian Myers ran from Creator Pro, a year to get paid for that. ACW might be running into a problem. I don't know the back end stuff on there, but that's why I didn't want to go to Triller for our shows because I was like, I know just based off the past experiences of what these people are going through. So let's try it this way. I think last year we put it through Patreon, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like we're trying different things because we want to get paid right away instead of waiting. So I say all that to say that the ESPN and WWE merger, while yes, it's global, it's going to confuse a lot of people.
Well,
it's also going to price a couple people
not.
out.
So there's people in certain, I don't know if it's England. I think it's in England. They have everything through Netflix.
Right. So international Netflix gives you everything.
Yep.
So I'm about to just skip the country. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like, you might get a better.
Get one of those VPN things and then just change your VPN.
Chris Van Vliet is literally advertising on how to get your own VPN.
Yeah.
And use his discount code. It's like $3 a month.
They're advertising. It was all on the Cornet one. It was on a bunch of them.
That's a thing. Like, so I don't even know what a VPN. Like, it's just a private.
It's so when you log onto the internet, right? With your shit.
Like I have my login. I have Optimum Internet.
It's showing that you're in United States, in New Jersey.
Right.
You change the VPN. You could change it to say that you're in England, and then you could watch their Netflix.
Oh, cheerio. Let's do that. So, yeah, that's kind of wild, actually. But, yeah, I mean, look, the whole thing is going to be interesting, to say the least. All it does is line the pockets. I mean, the money that's coming into this thing is
a heavy nut. It's a heavy nut that TKO has to get back from what they paid. And look, I'm not going to say they overpaid for WWE, but everybody knows they overpaid for the UFC. They said that was said the instant that the sale was made. Maybe they overpaid for WWE a little bit, but it's the truth. WWE has gotten more hot than MMA has. MMA has kind of taken a backseat.
I think it's cooled off significantly.
Cooled off.
Dude, I can't tell you the pay-per-view numbers or whatever they're trying to do, but like the days of old.
Let's put it this way:
the days of old are gone. You don't get McGregor fights all the time.
If the UFC,
I know you don't like McGregor.
Yeah, but I think that's what ruined it.
People like McGregor fights ruined it
because now it's gone. That star power that they created is gone. Once they lose more than once, it's over.
That's almost kind of feels like college football. You know, like you lose a game, you're gonna be toast.
Yeah, but
tough sledding to get out of that hole.
People are gonna still watch. When Connor left, he took all those fucking casuals that don't watch the sport.
Well, the problem is that like when Dana White goes live on Instagram and he's like, match card announcement, I'm like, sweet. Then he'll say the card and I'm like, sweet. I know one name on that whole fucking thing.
So that's
insane to me. I know that you and Gucci used to call me Casual Dave or whatever because I was a casual fan, mainstream UFC fan. But there was a time that I was getting in the weeds with this shit. I was like really into all the undercard and this, that, and Mickey Gall, Mickey Gall's fights and you know, just the undercard, like Cody Garbrandt before he got superstar, like all these guys. I was like watching them on the come up. I was like, this is badass shit. But eventually, you know, you latch on with like a Colby Covington, and all of a sudden Covington's no longer fighting anymore, or at least he thinks he's going to fight, but then it never really actually comes to fruition, or whatever the case may be. But like those are the fights that I'm just like, I am in front of the TV, got to watch it. I don't feel that way about anything UFC anymore. And it's kind of crazy.
And like I was talking to a buddy of mine who trains at a UFC Hall of Famers gym. If UFC was doing that well, Dana White wouldn't be putting all his eggs into the power slap basket right now.
The power slap thing, and by the way, might be the dumbest thing of all time.
It is the
dumbest thing of all time.
One of the guys that we had on the show was on there.
I don't give a shit. I think like you want to talk about the NFL trying to do away with concussions or lower them, and now you add by the way, no headgear, just straight up slap somebody in their button as hard as you possibly can, and if they stand up, all right, cool. What's next? They hit them again. You know what I mean? It's like this is I'm sorry that it goes against. You know, my father growing up would always tell me like UFC. He was like, this is like human cockfighting, right? And it was just like I'm like. You're not wrong, Dad. You know what I mean? Like it's like chickens just going in the cage and beating the shit out of each other. One person walks out, one person nearly dies.
And they regulated it.
Right, they regulated it. But now that's the same thing. Same way I felt about bare knuckle. It's like now you're taking off the gloves, and now
Let's
you're.
Put it this way: when we get off air, I'll tell you something about bare knuckle. I'm not going to say it on air.
Well, in any event, it's bare fucking dumb, is what it is. I mean, again. You're in it. If you're in it, making money doing it, God bless you. But God bless remembering your kids' names in fucking 10 years because it's just going to be tough sledding, I think. All right, 2, the actual weekend that was outside of our tailgate, we did a lot of previewing. Now we could do some reviewing about the major things that happened SummerSlam.
I thought it was good.
I thought
enjoyed
overall
it.
both nights delivered in their own way. Both of them had wow moments at the end of the nights. Second night was beyond anything anybody's on anybody's radar, and don't try to be like, oh, I knew it. Like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. Even Sean Ross Sapp was out there like, this was on 0 people's radar.
Well, somebody had put and again, I know they do it all the time, but I had seen like an article come across social media. It was like there is a large individual
Hooded
backstage
figure, yeah.
in a hood wandering around the back at SummerSlam. Some people were saying it was The Rock. 99.9% of the people I was seeing commenting, I was saying that it was Brock.
Well, look, we'll get into that in a second.
It makes sense.
We'll get into that in a second. We got to start off with night 1, which, by the way, like I said, I was there for in that crowd. Electric crowd, great energy. The matches were good from top to bottom. I want to say that there's a lot, dude. I had Jelly Roll, my man, dude. I'm sorry, like 3 weeks of training or something, and you're taking those kind of bumps. You're out of your skull too.
I'm glad they didn't put him and Randy over.
Apparently, that was a last minute switch.
I'm glad they didn't go that route.
Because that crushes Drew and Ball.
Yeah,
that crushes them if they don't. If they just like I feel good, yay, everybody wins, happy. You'll like raise your hand, and go home. First of all, did anybody else get Mankind Hell in the Cell vibes when he was walking off and then he was like, "Fuck this, I'm going back in." That's what I was like, this is amazing. He's going back in after getting the shit kicked out of him, and then again he takes another beating and they lose the match. But like for his first go. Like, kudos to the WWE training team because everybody they've brought in that I can remember in recent times, at least, Bad Bunny, Jelly Roll now,
Stephen Amell.
Stephen Amell was like a stunt actor anyway, so he did well. But like even, again, Logan Paul, you know what I mean? Like, you're looking at a guy like, he's a YouTuber, he's a boxer, there's no way this can translate. And now, if I don't give a shit what you say, Logan Paul is one of the better wrestlers in the world.
You can't really call him, somebody who doesn't belong anymore. As much as I don't, I don't like the Paul brothers.
Absolutely,
he's earned his stripes.
Absolutely, and I think that match, to watch it live and in person and see the reactions, it was great. It was great. But that main event, so CM Punk, it's a thunderous ovation. We knew it was going to be like we were texting, each other as it was happening. Me and Tommy T were in Eric LeGrand's suite, which thank you, E, you're the man for getting us in there. But I know Tommy was home. Chris was in a suite down at the other side of the end zone with his kid, and we're all texting and we're like, Punk is gassed. Punk is gassed. There's he's got nothing left. And in real time, that's what it really looked like. It really looked like he was on the struggle bus trying to get through this thing, as if like maybe Gunther took a chop and knocked the wind out of him or something, and he just never got it back. And that's on the reel, right? But then, you see how it all ends. By the way, I don't know if that was a gig job on Gunther, but because the way he landed face first on the table, I don't know if he maybe like...
Well, so they were saying on Raw...
He broke his orbital, something.
He's going to be out.
So he's going to be out for a little while. Look, again, a justifiable vacation for Gunther.
It might be, yeah.
He's been going nonstop for a long time now, carrying the company and carrying that title picture for a while. So maybe if he's getting 3 or 4 weeks off, rock on. But for Punk to get the win, the way he got the win, 2 go to sleeps, great sell by Gunther. The whole like fade back, it looked like the stunner from Stone Cold onto Pat McAfee, like that fountain drop, right? And he drops 1, 2, 3 pin, game over. Now, I said it on the show.
You did.
I said it on the show. I said that I got this feeling that there's going to be a Seth Rollins. You just didn't talk about the Seth Rollins injury enough, right? Like, that's why I thought it was a very, very good possibility, because usually when somebody does some damage to this, and you really wreck yourself, you at least give a diagnosis. Yeah, I tore my ACL. Yeah, I sprained my MCL. Yeah, I did this. Yeah, I did that. Dislocated my kneecap. Whatever. You at least get details. The fact that all the details just never came to fruition, I'm just like, dude, there's got to be a glimpse of that saying, like, they're holding off for this. And, you know, I think it was you who told me, like, oh, Heyman named Braun the new leader.
He
right?
did.
Right. So, like, they all played into this so wonderfully. And then you get the burn it down thing. And I said this to Tommy in a text, and I said this on the Jimmy Palumbo show the other day, or maybe the Jersey Boys podcast, one of the two. But I for the first time, now normally wrestling fans are like this, right? They're like this. They're showing, they're recording, right? For the first time, and I can't tell you how long, I'm sitting there, I'm standing on the steps of the suite next to Tommy T. And we're watching this all unfold. Punk celebrating, crying, got the belt. When Burn It Down hits, my first reaction wasn't go grab my phone and record this. It was like, I've never felt more than a wrestling fan. Like, I felt like I was 12 again. Like, I felt like I was finally able to just embrace something that was happening in real time that nobody really expected outside of the predictions and shit. But, like, when that happens, you are left in complete awe and shock. I must have hit Tommy so hard. Like, when I was like, I
wonder why he's not here.
And then I think he chopped the lady next to him. Like, so it's just like this genuine wrestling moment where you're just like, oh my God, they're gonna pull the trigger. Now remember, Payne had predicted a cash fail. So like he said, yeah, there could be a cash in, but he doesn't win. I said, no way. You know, I was like, if this guy's coming in, he's gonna stomp him, he's gonna win the damn title, and add to this what feels like 2 years now of like just ever since he came back at Survivor Series War Games, there's been this hostility between Punk and Seth. This just got it to the umph degree. It's white piping hot.
Well,
where they go from here?
You saw it boil over on the end of Raw,
which I didn't really expect. I did not expect Punk to be there. I thought he was.
Tell you one thing, he didn't gas out doing that.
No, you're not. Do you see that? Did you by any chance see the end of Raw where mostly I guess somebody was recording it, what they were saying to each other on the way up the ramp?
No.
So, obviously, I'm wearing Roman Reigns' shirt. Like, I'm a big Roman Reigns guy. He comes back as well at the end of Monday Night Raw to, I guess, save and salvage and kind of re-spark his feud with Seth as well, and Braun and Bronson Reed. And I guess, they did their thing. I would assume that Roman's being written off TV again with the amount of tsunamis that he took. Like, I almost think that
he just came back.
I understand that, but I think that maybe they sent him out there with a new shirt, by the way. Go F myself. I got this one that they were selling at WrestleMania. Comes out with a new shirt again. Takes the tsunamis. Match is over. Fade to black. They're walking up the ramp. And they're like, Punk is in front. Roman's slowly walking behind him. And Punk is yelling at him, and he points to his watch. He goes, well, maybe if you would show up on time, shit like this wouldn't happen. So, like, I'm also saying, like, or show up at all. Like, and then he's like, Roman starts clapping back, saying, you don't know anything about this shit. This is dad shit. You don't know nothing about this shit. Grown man shit. So, like, now I think that there's some kind of hostility between Roman Reigns and CM Punk that goes beyond the camera. Because it's just like, again, it's just so, it was a weird vibe. It was a weird vibe.
I mean, years ago, Punk had kind of felt some sort of way about Roman going, when he did that podcast with Cole Cabana, and Michael Hayes was saying, it's Punk against the Shield. He's like, you got to make Roman look strong. He's got to look strong. Punk's like, so why don't you just let them beat me? Because it's 3-on-1. How can they not look strong?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. So maybe there is some, again, I could be speaking out of turn. I don't know. It just felt like different.
It just could be really good acting.
But I have to say, when it went down, I was excited. Tommy T was excited. Payne's text, horrible. You also didn't like it. What are you not liking about this?
Because, like, how much more are we going to keep doing this Punk and Rollins thing?
Are you just tired of the feud, or tired of the way that
of the feud.
Rollins keeps catching it and winning?
That too. I think Punk had earned getting the belt. I think he earned it.
I don't think he gives a shit if he's a champ or not.
No, I don't think he does, but I think that he earned it.
In real life, not story-wise.
Sometimes I think it's good to give the people what they want.
They did for like 5 minutes. Literally. It was less time than Drew's reign, by the way.
So sometimes I think it's good to just give the people what they want. Do we get this final blow off? Like, 'cause I just can't see Rollins having the belt again. I just can't. I love Rollins. I just think it's been passed between Rollins and Gunther. Jay had it for 2 seconds.
But think about old days. Think about the old days. Think about how many times that belt was passed between guys like Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes. You know what I mean? Like they had a program.
16 times.
They had a program forever. It seems like, right. So if that's the story we're trying to tell, that Seth Rollins, Gunther, Punk, and Jay, and guys like that. That's the part though that really kind of rubbed me the wrong way at the end of Raw. Everybody's watching CM Punk and Roman get destroyed. Where the fuck was Jey Uso?
I don't know.
He's got some splaining to do, no?
Yeah, I don't.
Come on,
I don't know.
Uso, where you at, dude? Like, not only do they sell out of your glasses over the weekend all over the place, now he just doesn't want to show up. That's the weirdest thing in the world.
Was he even there?
It doesn't matter. But how do you write that into the story? How do you explain the fact that Jey Uso's music doesn't play to come save the day or at least clear the ring or whatever? He's gone. He's not there. It's weird. I don't know. To me, that's weird. I would not be surprised that if Roman's not written off TV, there's some sort of like, where were you?
And then he could be telling that story.
You know, or something to that effect. I don't know. I digress with that. But fast forward night 2, you get a fantastic... a lot of people were kind of shitting on the cage match. I thought it was good. Like, I wish, obviously, from a fanhood perspective, I was like, I hope Jacob wins.
It did nothing for either one of them. And if it wasn't for Jacob doing the
moonsault off the top.
Which I said, he's going to do that.
100%.
If it wasn't for him doing that, the match would have just been
I felt like there was a lot of moments throughout the four. Overall, the SummerSlam, it did rock. It really did. But there was too much of the... That was all right, but it's supposed to be the payoff of a lot of things. SummerSlam's like your mid-season classic. You have your WrestleMania to end the season, but your first big boom is supposed to be SummerSlam, and it really didn't. I mean, there was an earthquake in New Jersey that night, even though I made the joke that it was just a bunch of wrestling fans being herded out like cattle.
That's exactly what it was. There was a bunch of wrestling fans jumping up and down, pissed off because Punk didn't get the belt.
So. See the Jacob Fatu thing happen. That was, like I said, that was good.
Candice LeRae, by the way.
What an absolute savage. What is she out of her fucking mind? That bump to me reminded me of when Chelsea Green fell from the ladder to the table. The girls, you can't say enough about some of these women who just will go above and beyond and make sure that that they know that they're just as fucking good. They're just as good, if not some of them are better. That's just the way it is.
And when
dude.
I saw the women getting involved in that, I was like, okay, so they're gonna pull
BFAB doesn't do it for me.
Like they're gonna pull the belts off the top. How does this work? Because they're not in the match,
right? But then, oh my God, what about the spot with him doing a sit up on it and being upside down? That hurt my core, and I was just watching. Right, I was like, "This is insane."
And the match is good.
It's a car wreck, like it was supposed to be.
Here's my issue with the ladder matches now. Or the slow climb up the ladder.
But meanwhile, some of the cruiserweights like.
Yeah,
right
it's just like sometimes to me it seems overproduced and overacted.
You got to suspend reality for a little while. And yeah, man, of course, like
it's like whether they're reaching. Oh, I can't get it. I can't get it. It's like right there. Like, come on, man.
And not for nothing, but like when Gargano gets on not Gargano, Ciampa gets on the fucking thing. Like you're hanging from the thing. You have the belts are dangling in your face.
Yeah.
Just fucking whoop and you're done, right? But of course, you got to do the spots and it's wrestling.
Yeah, but you could do the spot and knock it all the way to the top of the fucking ladder. How about that?
I'm just thinking out loud now, and I don't know, I'm not the historian that you are, but has there ever been a point where there has been a reach, a grab, and a drop? Like, has there ever been a point where the belts just dropped? Where now it's like, shit.
I don't think the belt dropped, but I remember the Money in the Bank briefcase dropping into Otis's hands.
Well, maybe that was by design.
Who knows?
It doesn't matter. They covered it up. But I'm saying, like, is there... Because in my mind, when I used to play with my action figures, I used to say used to, as if I, don't play with them now still. But, like, when I used to play, like, if you knock the belt off, it's now a fumble. It's a loose ball. It's a loose ball drill. Go get that ball. You know what I mean? Like, go get that title. So I'm always curious to know, like, the faint, right? They doing that on purpose because of the fact that they just don't want to knock the fucking thing off.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I don't
It's
know.
like, I get it if somebody else is on the top of the ladder with you and you're trying to do that and you can't get to it. Okay, fine. But when you're alone for 30 seconds and you can't get the fucking belt, like, that's when somebody should missile drop kick the fucking ladder and then you go out into the friggin' crowd.
Wrestling's not fake.
You know, you can only suspend so much reality.
Again, like I said, I think in that regard, yeah.
That's why I swear to God, we better never do a fucking ladder match for Fight Factory Wrestling.
I already
please.
thought about doing one.
No.
Because we finally have a roof over our heads, so why not try to...
Okay, fine. You're not allowed to get to the top of the fucking ladder until it's time for you to grab it or
in
you're
fact,
getting
that's when
thrown
the match
off.
ends. As soon as you get to the top of the ladder, the match is over, actually.
Oh, God.
Ring the bell.
Because I remember, like, the Shawn Michaels Razor Ramon one. Razor straight up pulled his fucking pants down to get him off the ladder.
There's a full moon here tonight at WrestleMania 10.
Everything was tan on Michaels except for his ass.
Yeah, I know.
It looked like the lights.
Two white ass cheeks. Speaking of white ass cheeks, somebody with red ass cheeks shows up at the end of night 2 to what I would say is, you want to talk about an earthquake? My household, where everybody was sleeping. I apologize because when Cena, first of all, bravo to Cena, because that Cena Cody match, it needed to be a street fight because that's the pace you work. Even the suspense of reality where Cena pops up from the thing holding him. I'm just like, this is fucking amazing.
Well, it was like the Wyatt match.
Dumbest shit
Yeah, but
in
it
the
was like the Wyatt match that he did.
Right. It's the dumbest thing in the world if you think about the spot itself. It's like, oh, so what happened underneath? Nobody knows, but he's got him on his shoulders. And then he just army fucking carries him to the ring. But again, Cena absolutely pulled out all the stops, did the leg drop from the top, did all this shit that you see vintage Cena used to do. And
the
then
5 moves of doom.
Yeah, I mean, and ultimately he loses the match. And I was a little like, oh, you know, like when that final 3 count hit, and I was like, all right, well, he's putting him over. He's gonna do his greatest hits going out, and that'll be it. And he's doing the goodbye. Yes or no, Tommy? Did Michael Cole or Stu know? I say Stu. Sorry, Wade Barrett. Did they know that Brock was there?
Yes.
I want to say no, because they were on camera, and Michael Cole gave a look to Wade Barrett when the music first hit, like, wait. And then he genuinely reacted and dropped the holy shit on the air. I think that everybody was in the dark with this. I really do.
I mean, you know what? Look, it could be because as you watch that Unreal show and you know.
Well, we're gonna find out next year, because I heard somebody said that the producer of that show was backstage all weekend long for SummerSlam, so clearly they were recording more stuff.
Yeah. So we'll find out then. But
man, the reaction.
Either way, was when I heard it. Dun, 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 I was like, oh my God, Dave must be running around the house right now.
I couldn't tell you how excited I was. Brock is my number 2 all time next to Shawn. I have been a Brock Lesnar Mark fan forever. Wore the gloves like a fucking dork in my in-ring career because I just, if I just put them on, they'll think I know MMA. But like Brock is my guy, and to see and hear him and what he looks like, I was just like, what's with the fucking hair? I was like, holy shit.
Now he looks like a Viking.
Now he looks like a goddamn Viking, and he goes in there. It was legitimately reminiscent, which is even funnier, because I remember when he came back in 2011. No. 12. When he first came back, when Cena did the point and then his music hit, I remember where I was. And that poor girl, my wife, had to deal with that reaction now twice. Because it was literally the same thing. The same thing. His music comes out, he circles the ring, he gets in the ring, he F5s him, he looks, he's rah, rah, and it's over. And I'm beaming. So now look. There's going to be backlash. There's already been plenty of backlash. Everybody's got a fucking opinion, and that's why we're here, right? Or as the TikTok community says, this is why they should make podcast equipment more expensive, right? Yeah. Like, that's the new diss, by the way. Which, by the way, this whole studio is mine. So, yeah, make other things more expensive then. But his the backlash and the reaction to Brock coming back in the middle of I guess the case isn't closed yet.
Yeah, he's not even. So
he's not named, right?
He's not named in doing anything wrong. She supposedly sent pictures pissing. There's an entire fucking industry of OnlyFans where people get that all the time.
Yucky. I'm just not into it. Not my flavor. Not my cup of tea. Or a cup of piss.
Here's the thing. TKO is not going to put him out there if there was something serious really going on. So either embrace it or don't fucking watch it.
Yeah. The comments that, I think it was you who sent it, or maybe Payne sent it, where like somebody was like, you guys are offended, but yet Nikki Bella's out there after her thing. And then like, what was the other one? The other bigger thing that was on that? Somebody did something else, and they're like, and this guy's like running around in WWE still. I don't know. Look, we've talked about shit like this. Mike Vick drowned dogs, right? Like he's an analyst and a head coach now.
And I can tell you one thing, didn't seem like there was one person in that stadium that was upset to see him. So you sitting at home with your little Cheetoed up fingers, if you're not going to watch, that's fine, because there's millions of others that are going to. I had the same reaction that Cena did. I think I was like washing the dishes, and I went,
you thought it was over, right? It's the same shit they pulled with CM Punk when we were all here watching it.
That was fun. I was walking out the door.
It's like, right? And like that's the beauty part about wrestling, man. It's like you just don't know. And this was literally the last guy on anybody's radar that was going to come challenge Cena. Cena is doing his greatest hits and his greatest rivalries, and one of them, case closed, is fucking Brock Lesnar.
If this is the one that takes him out the door, then that's.
I don't think so. I think this is a Clash of Paris or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, but who else is left for him?
I don't know. The Rock.
Could be, because The Rock said, "I have your soul." So maybe that's either Survivor Series or whatever they run in December. Because Cena's last match is in December.
Cena's going to be a part of somebody's War Games team for Survivor Series. That's my gut right now. I know it's a ways away, but
I don't think he's going to do that.
I don't know. But
here's the thing: can he handle Suplex City now?
Don't know. Or maybe you want to turn back the clock. Remember that SummerSlam where he just beat the shit out of Cena?
That's what I'm talking about. That's where Suplex City was invented.
What if it goes the other way? All of a sudden you're like, Cena squashes Brock or something like that. Or like, not believable by any stretch.
The only person ever squashed Brock was Goldberg, and that was shocking enough.
That was dumb as shit.
So now let's spin back to that. Now that the Rollins injury isn't real, they did Goldberg dirty.
In regards to what?
They cut off his shit. Like they went too long, I think, with the Rollins stuff. And I think they kind of did Goldberg dirty.
Yeah.
See, now if the Rollins injury was legit, if the Rollins injury was legit, then storyline wise it goes, okay, fine. They had to call an audible, but this was a story, kind of fucked up.
Yeah, I agree. So again, Brock being back, super excited. We'll see if there's anything that transpires onto SmackDown. I know Cena is advertised for SmackDown. He will be. We'll see if he shows up, or maybe he does the via satellite thing. I don't know how many dates this guy's committed to. Apparently, from what Cole said on Raw, is that the communication, both sides said, come on home, let's do it, here we go. Is there a year contract? Did they pay him $20 fucking million? I have no idea.
He's one of these guys who could literally just show up every couple years. Like, remember what Hogan used to do? He would just come back for a little bit and then go away again, and then come back and then go away.
That was during the Michaels tag team run. Like that
was when he was filming Hogan Knows Best. Because I remember that one episode where he sat down in the office with Vince, and Vince is like, excuse me, but you can't come back and steal the spotlight and say, hey, I got to go away again for a little while because now I've got to redirect everything that I'm doing.
Yeah, well,
but Brock is one of these guys that you can do that with. Because no matter what,
who's going to tell him no? You going to tell him no?
When he comes back, they probably begged him.
Maybe
he seems like he's been doing fine. He's doing his big butcher shit. He scares the shit out of me when he's got that cleaver in his head. His daughter is
world known shot putter now, and
now she's with an NFL player, guy from the 49ers.
That guy plays in the NFL?
Yeah,
I thought he was like a kid. He looked like a kid.
He's with the 49ers.
You imagine cheating on Brock Lesnar's daughter?
I wouldn't even want to date Brock Lesnar's daughter.
Boy, oh, but listen, there's somebody out there for everybody. We all know
No,
that.
I'm not meeting her. I mean, I got to see this fucking guy.
Well, guess what? That's what I want to leave in the impression of my household. Like, right? Somebody's like, "Hey, Mr. Sturchio, I'm here to take out your daughter," and I'm just gonna be there in a tank, and I'm like, "Yeah, that's good." No, you're not. You know what I mean? Like, you'll sit right there, and I'll have dinner.
He probably answers the door in that butcher's outfit, covered in blood with the cleaver. Can I fucking help you?
So I got to ask you though. Now, just hypothetically, Cena's now dealing with Brock. Who's first in line for Cody? Being now he's the new champ. Now you need a contender. Which kind of shocked me on Raw to see LA Knight kind of come out of nowhere and then get a title match, and then the schmaz.
I mean, they did have LA Knight on that one truck with Cena.
Because everybody's kind of up in arms about not having any LA Knight at SummerSlam.
I really wish it was Karrion Kross.
So let me talk. All right, I have Karrion Kross on my notes to finish out. So Karrion Kross obviously does his match with Sammy. I didn't like it. I didn't like the way it ended. I get the whole storytelling of like, I done with the pipe. No, I don't need the pipe. All I need is my haluva kick. Boop, and it's over. And
that was like Cena Bray Wyatt remember when Bray Wyatt was trying to get Cena to hit him with the chair in that match?
And when Sammy gets off, this is what really pissed me off. When Sammy gets out of the ring, he looks over at Kross and he says, "It's over. Like, what we just did, we finished it right there, right?" And Kross is almost like, yeah, almost nodding in agreement. Yeah, it's over. I don't know the details of Kross's contract. There's been some reports saying it expires this weekend.
Him and Scarlett, yeah.
And
he just came out with the book, too.
He's done book signings. He was just at fucking Tommy Fierro's store doing a book signing. Like, he's been everywhere.
I was trying to get it on, I was trying to see if they had the audiobook version. They don't yet.
Not yet, no. I would love him to do it, because sometimes it's not always the person who writes it.
I just listened to Say Hello to the Bad Guys. The one that was the dude from ESPN wrote it about.
Oh, really?
NWO. Yeah, it was really good.
Okay, I'll check that out. But as far as Kross is concerned, after SummerSlam, Triple H goes out there, right? Which, by the way, kudos to Triple H. They know what they're doing. They took away the post-match press conferences and turned it into post-match shows with everybody in the crowd, meaning you're not going to have your goober journalists up there saying like, can you speak up on the Vince allegations again? You know what I mean? Like,
that's what it is, man.
And you know what? The journalists have ruined that. And I think that you guys did this to yourselves, and that's fine. Now you're paying for it, because now there's going to be some cool shit that we all get to see at the end. And the journalists aren't there anymore.
I feel bad for like the journalists that actually try to do their job.
They're out there. They're out there.
You
There's
know?
not too many of them out there. Sean Ross Sapp does a great job. Rob Williams does a great job. B plus.
Malcolm Muscle.
Malcolm Muscle does his Waffle House orders and shit and all that. You know, it's funny. But like, you know, he's a good dude. But I'm just saying, those folks who were the goobers of the post-game press conferences asking about shit that wasn't even related to the pay-per-view.
Right.
You ruined it for everybody. But again, as a consumer, as somebody who wants to see what I saw, I loved the fact that they were out there in front of the crowd. Felt very game day-esque. Felt very post-NFL game-esque. It felt very cool. Triple H goes out there, starts doing it. They start chanting, "We want Kross." Mm-hmm. And Triple H basically was like, "What's that?" He comes back, he's like, "Yeah, they want Brock. I gave him Brock." And I'm like, they're not saying that, buddy. I was like, we're not
he knows.
We're not stupid, right?
Knows.
Like,
he knows. He's no selling everything.
Now, does that lead me to believe that it's the end of the road for somebody like Karrion Kross? Did you really drop the ball again on somebody so multi-talented, both on the mic and in the ring, with a smoke show of a fucking wife/manager? That package is the premier package, man. Like,
I don't think
how do you drop the ball again?
I want to give the benefit of the doubt, because it wasn't him that dropped the ball. It was Vince that dropped the ball the first time.
Fine, but still,
I want to give Triple H the benefit of the doubt for
Triple H
when he brought him back.
Yeah.
And just say that maybe because of the new book, maybe he's going away for a little bit, right? He's doing the book signings. Maybe he's got some things down
but he
the
needs
pipe.
a contract. Like, you know, that's going to be reported relatively soon.
Yeah, you know what though? It might not, because you remember Alexa Bliss? They were like, "Oh, Alexa Bliss we couldn't come to terms with her contract." Remember for Royal Rumble? And she sent out a picture on Twitter of her sitting on the couch in her slippers, and then there she is at the Royal Rumble. Triple H has been doing a very good job of keeping things under wraps that he wants to keep under wraps.
Fair.
So I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt and say that they're going to come to terms with Cross. It's just you got to give the guy a belt. Let him run with it. Does he need it? No,
I don't think he needs a belt.
Deserves it.
I don't think he needs a belt. I just think he needs a storyline that we can sink our teeth into. We couldn't really sink our teeth into the Sami Zayn shit. You started to, but now as soon as you started to, it's over.
Here's what it's not that he needs it; he deserves it, right? A program with Cross having, even if it's just the Intercontinental belt, you have him more.
Listen, maybe I'm talking out of turn, or maybe I'm just a fan of his work, maybe too much. But like, if Cody Rhodes is out there cutting a promo, and then all of a sudden that music plays, and he comes out there with Scarlett, I'm like, yo, let's go,
I'm invested.
You know, like, but like again, that's just me and you. Would the crowd be into it? Because look, now you got Cody, who's, to me, was playing the away game again. If you're not, you know, in that match against Cena, he was the heel-ish. Now you have him as a new champion. You want to try to be babyface with him, but if you bring out a guy like Cross, they're going to be pro Cross.
I think what
everybody wants Cody heel Cody, but you're getting it organically.
What they were trying to do with the Sammy thing, Cross could really try to do with Cody, because Cody is the white meat baby face. You know, the try getting his head and twist him around, because that could be the turn of Cody.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Like I said, kudos to WWE for getting rid of those really boring press conferences and really livening it up.
I have never seen the point of a media scrum at the end of a pro wrestling event, because
the only thing that and again, this is just me being a businessman. Like, when Triple H will report the numbers, I'm like, you could have sent that out in a press release typed out. You know, nobody wants to hear like, oh, it's the biggest gate we've ever had. Every fucking gate's the biggest gate you ever had. You know, it's always going to go up. You add one seat to a venue, it's like, oh, man, it's the biggest gate we ever had. And the ratings and the global sponsorships and all that shit. That's the stuff that puts the fan to sleep. To me, I'm just like, oh, cool. You know, what's next on the sponsorship docket? You know,
well, like everybody says, oh, how much money did you put in your pocket? Didn't put any, but it's shit that we're interested in. Because
right. So there's
logistics
levels,
of shit
levels
is
to
good.
being a fan. Like, now that, like, I'm always going to forever be a professional wrestling fan, but now that we are on the other side of it and running a business, like, I am interested in shit like that. But yeah, we'll see how it all plays out. But listen, that'll do it for this week. It's been a loaded show, minus 2 guys down. It would have been a deeper conversation had Payne and Tommy been here, but always good to chop it up with Tommy Dee, 2 of the OGs of the Fight Factory podcast. I might have been a producer at one point.
Back to Chopheads MMA.
Back to Chopheads MMA, but we channeled our inner professional wrestling fan. Listen, go out there, support the independents wherever you are, no matter what state you're in watching this right now. If you're in New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, there's going to be a loaded show on November the 15th at the Starland Ballroom. No Thanksgiving. I know Mark Carino is cooking up more graphics for us, and we can't wait to release all the names that we're going to be booking on this thing. Like I said, man, it ain't the beach, right? It's not the beach. It's the ballroom. It's a different vibe, different ball game, but we think we're going to be able to kill it once again. So with that being said, for Chris Payne and Tommy T, who are in here, for Dave Sturchio, Tommy D, who is here, we'll see you guys next time.